Hi, the camera I'm featuring today, which is Insta360 Link2 Web Camera, has been in my hands over the past 3 days, and I was able to test the autofocus, the noise cancelling feature of the camera, ability to be connected to video switcher, in particularly the Osee Go Stream Deck video switcher, and I will demonstrate you everything in today's review. My name is Ashot Gazian. I have this separate channel for all the gear and lights and camera and tripods what I'm using for creating the videos for YouTube and social media. So if you are interested in this topic, definitely smash like and subscribe. So like 15 minutes ago I recorded a separate part of the review, which was the camera connected to the laptop, to the OBS, which is open broadcast software, and I recorded a demo clip showcasing how would the camera work for you in case you were to do the Zoom call or whatever. And let me play you this clip first. You will hear the microphone from the camera, you will see the autofocus performance, you will see the tracking performance, and you will see also the zoom function and much more. After that part I will go to more nerdy part where the camera will be connected to the video switcher, Osee Go Stream Deck in particular, and you will see what comes next. So first of all I will place camera on top of my laptop lid right here. That's the way the camera was placed during my test, and I will bring myself on the screen and I will play you this video clip. So this is the section recorded on Insta360 Link2 Web Camera with Gimbal, recorded with OBS, Open Broadcast Software. You can see a shot of me on my kitchen without any extra additional lights, without any extra additional microphones. I am recording on the inbuilt microphone on Insta360 Link2. Today is overcast in my city. Now it's like 11:35 o'clock and there is not much light coming through my window. Camera has already started to track me. Let me just stop this for the moment. The only advantage when it comes to the lighting on my kitchen is that all the walls and the ceiling are white. And of course, even though I was sitting like 3.5 meters away from the window and it was overcast, but the walls are white, so the room is not like in the really bad lighting environment, but it's not the best. But still, camera performed really well. So let's continue watching. So there is no more tracking, and that is how my kitchen is lit. Camera has 1/2-inch sensor, 35mm lens, focal length of the lens, and 1.8 aperture, and you can see what does it look like in the room. I will show you that there is the weather. Now it snows and I have a little bit of a curtain. The only thing I have to say that camera does also have an HDR function, which will demonstrate it a little bit later in the same clip on the kitchen. And HDR function actually worked surprisingly great, and I was able to show to the viewers what is actually behind the window, and that was just a roof, the tiles of the building behind the window. Halfway closed and that one is open, so a little bit of light drops on my face and the picture is quite decent. Alright, you could have this picture. By the way, the laptop is now like an arm distance from me, and if I were to do work on my laptop and call someone on video call, that will be the frame what you will get. Also, now it starts tracking me again. However, if you were to show your work done on your workbook to someone, you can just tilt a gimbal of the camera, just like so, simply. And then if you were to open up a notebook, you can bring your viewers this view. When you need to show your face, you can just tilt the camera again, and that's what you have it. The microphone right now is again on this is recorded on inbuilt microphone on Insta360 X3, and for that I will make additional test with my Harman Kardon speaker to check how well does the microphone reduce the loud office noise. Just for the reference, the microphone what I'm using for this shot is microphone from Sony ZV-1 mirrorless camera, which is a really great directional microphone. However, the microphone built into the Insta360 Link2 is really an awesome microphone considering the overall size of the camera and the price of the camera and all the noise cancelling features. Really great, and I'm almost sure that that is the omnidirectional microphone, which is great for such a versatile camera with AI tracking, with gimbal being able to move around and to track you. So I was really surprised of the microphone built into the Insta360 Link2. And this is not a sponsored video. I purchased camera for my own money. I'm using camera for this kind of reviews, and this will be an additional camera used for my video creation setup, which is basically this setup where I have like a tripod standing on the floor in my room. I have connected iPad, monitor, video switcher, laptop, a main camera, overhead camera, and that is all via the switcher what I am able to feed into the video review. And the Insta360 Link2 will be just an additional camera, and I'm really glad that I stopped my choice on Insta360 Link2, and this is like a camera with the second best autofocus what I have for my setups. Like this Sony ZV-1 has the best autofocus, which is a Sony face autofocus, and Insta360 has as great autofocus, almost as great as Sony, but considering the size and the the main designation of the camera to be the web camera first, the autofocus performance is just great. So let's continue watching the clip. Before I do that, I can show you how good your frame looked if you were to use some extra light. Let me bring this small light. I will turn it on. Even at the minimum brightness, I will place that just behind the camera, and also I can have a little bit of background light. Okay, I will place it behind me over here, and that could be a different picture. And also, since I am on the kitchen, I have this kitchen light right above me, and I can turn it on. Now that is set to a warmer setting. I don't think it benefits right now, but if in case you don't have additional lights, I will turn them off again. I will turn off the light here. That is just I set up with a kitchen light above my head and without a kitchen light. Alright, let me bring the best view, and if you do want a great portable video light for your video calls, I definitely recommend to check a comparison where I compare this light from Joby, this light from Nightcore, and the light behind me, which is bicolor light from Zhiyun. So I compare them to each other, and you will be able to find out which light will actually work the best for you. Okay, let me bring a little bit of the mood back into the shot. Let's say you make it like this. A little bit of sunny yellow color. Okay, so far after testing this camera, realized that the microphone is omnidirectional, but it also is really good in cancelling all the noises. First, what I will tell, what I want to check is whether the microphone is really omnidirectional, but not directional, like for example on the Sony Z1. So right now I'm talking straight into the camera, but if I were to go and do something on my kitchen and turn around, then I can just keep on talking and we will decide whether the sound is louder or not. Okay, now it basically only takes enough to just turn around your head away from the microphone, start talking, and then you can immediately realize whether the microphone is omnidirectional or not. That was enough. Okay. Also, what is really important to say, that unlike on Sony ZV-1, it looked to me that Insta360 Link2 has like an auto gain function of the microphone. So if I were to test right here in this room the microphone of Sony ZV-1, which I'm talking straight to right now, the camera is like arm's distance, then because the gain of the microphone is set manually by me to do the best job at this distance, and then I were to go in the corner of the room, then I can hear, I mean, that the overall volume in the video of my voice drops because the gain remains the same. And then of course, since this is directional microphone, if I were to go and turn my face to the opposite way of the microphone, then the loudness of my voice drops significantly. And again, if I even go away from the camera, the gain of the microphone does not automatically adjust itself. However, on the Insta360, it looked to me like there is an auto gain function built into the microphone of Insta360 Link2, and also the microphone is more like omnidirectional. Okay, since I have the camera in my hand, I can tell you briefly about the interface. So it has this sensitive touch area. It reacts to the touch and hold, and to the double tap. You don't need me to explain you. It's a pretty simple and very intuitive. The camera comes on the gimbal and this mount. This mount is the one which grabs the lead of your laptop, and also you have ability to adjust the angle, because this is the magnet area, and the magnet area is at the bottom of the camera, so it magnetically attaches. And then what is cool about this camera, even though the gimbal is built in, but when the auto tracking function is not active, you can tilt gimbal with your fingers. You can also turn it around, and you are not feeling the resistance of the motors. For example, if you were to take a smartphone gimbal, DJI or maybe like a Zhiyun, then that device is designed to keep your smartphone horizontal or vertical, and then accidental touch will just activate the motors to resist the touch and will try to bring the smartphone level back to the horizontal level. But in this case, you can freely rotate, and if you want to shoot that way, you just turn, adjust, and it will stay. But when, of course, the auto tracking function is active, then the camera will follow you. So now you see it follows me. Okay, now let's go back to the clip. Now I will show you the tracking feature. It can be activated with a simple touch on the button of the camera. By the way, controls are really simple. It's one sensitive touch area on the camera just below the gimbal. It will recognize a single touch or a touch and hold, and I think maybe a double touch, but you don't need me for that. You just open the manual, and like in 3 minutes you can know what to do. But if I place my arm like that, now it will start tracking me, and if I were to move, now the camera actually moves and follows me. This can be really handy. The camera can also recognize a whiteboard, which I don't have right in front of me. Yes, about recognizing things. The way you know that camera has understood your gesture is that you look on this green light, and every time you make a gesture, it will take a while, and then the green light starts to blink a few times, and then the gesture is recognized. And then when you need to do the other gesture, you just do the gesture, camera will blink again to confirm that yet another gesture has been recognized. It's very clever, and you can have the green when everything is active, blinking green when everything is recognizing, and then when you tilt the camera down and hold, it will actually go to the sleep mode, and now you see the yellow light is there. You can also, in the free app on the laptop, choose the function to actually shut down the microphone when the camera is sleeping, and then when you want to wake up camera, you just tilt it, and that's it. You can also set in the free app so the camera, once it sees your face, will automatically activate the tracking function. For example, if the camera is always like not looking at you at this level, and you are demonstrating some product only with your hands and focusing on the hands, but then all of a sudden you need the camera to look at you, then you can just keeping the camera at the same level, you can just tilt the camera, it will see you, and then it will start tracking. You can also do that function. Okay, let's go and watch the clip. But there are included stickers which you're supposed to stick to the edges of the whiteboard, and camera will recognize and focus and reframe itself to match the angles and the corners of the whiteboard. What it can also do, that it can also do zoom. I will try that feature as well. You need to place, you see, now it's zoomed in. Okay, if I were to go away and you see it zooms in. I'm standing like 1.5 meters away from camera, and then okay, it recognized. It goes zoom again, zoom out, all the way zoom out. Once again, I see it blinking green, and it goes great. So the zoom function is actually cool. It is not a fake, because camera has a 4K half-inch sensor, and when you set the camera to 4K and you make like a 4x zoom, you still get really good quality 1080p resolution picture. What I think can be important here is that I show you the screen of this Insta360 Link controller. Yes, Insta360 Link controller app. Here is the screen. Once you connect the camera, just a second, I can quickly show you that. You can see what happened to the camera, so it activated. And now I am in the view of the software at the very bottom left. Here, at the very bottom left, I have set resolution to 4K 30. You can also adjust here at the right side tracking speed, and once you do that in the app, including the HDR mode, I can also, yeah, basically I'm looking now here, including the HDR mode, then the camera itself will recognize the setting. It will save the setting, so it will save, for example, HDR, and it will save resolution 4K 30. And then, even though you change, for example, to OBS, Open Broadcast Software, to record your review or to do the live stream, or maybe you go to Zoom or FaceTime, then the setting will be saved. And then once, for example, making a gesture to zoom in, since the camera remembered 4K resolution, you're all the way zoomed in the picture of maximum is 4 times zoom, will actually eventually ended up being a still good quality 1080p resolution picture. And then when you say do the HDR and then you happen to sit with the window behind you, you'll still be able to get a much better dynamic range of the picture. And if you set up the tracking speed to be slow or fast or normal, then this will be remembered, even though you will not be using this controller Insta360 Link software, but you will be making a call in Zoom or OBS or whatever. Really clever. So the Insta360 team, they really nailed the software part, and that was basically the main reason why I decided to get Insta360, because I have already like a 1 year experience with the Insta360 X3 360 camera. I'm very happy about this camera. I'm even using this as a web camera for this setup. Yes, you see the camera for this view is Insta360 X3, and it's just a really great software product from Insta360, including the software for editing videos, like on an iPad or iPhone, and even on a Mac. An excellent product from Insta360. I'm very happy. And by the way, since I showed you, this is the setup I'm using for recording these videos. This is a nice tripod. you can find a designated video where I describe everything about this setup in a pop-up link window on the left corner. Definitely check that video. I will tell you what the tripod is, where you can get one, where you can get all the accessories, like this nice holder for the iPad, which grabs iPad not from the shorter side but from the longer side. Okay, then let's just go back to the review of Insta360 Link web camera. Okay, now the tracking is off. And I think now it's time to use my speaker and play some loud office noises. For that I will need to zoom out again. Alright. A little bit more. I think that is the zoom out. So the camera also has a great autofocus, and in this setup, so talking about autofocus, it works great when you really need to show the product, not when you're trying to brag and trying to check how fast can the camera react, and you just throw the objects closer to the camera. The Sony ZV-1, which I'm using, it does react so fast because it's a phase autofocus. I believe that on Insta360 Link2 is a contrast based autofocus, and the objects what you want to demonstrate for Insta360 Link2, they really recognized well. The autofocus is great when you really in a calm pace and you just normally demonstrate the objects. The autofocus is great, but not when you're just trying to fool it. Then of course you can fool it. You can also fool the autofocus on the Sony ZV-1, which has an excellent autofocus. But overall, the primarily reason of getting Insta360 was to have a second camera with great autofocus to be placed below the Sony ZV-1 at a lower level, at the level of let's say my hands level. So when I were to demonstrate a product, and instead of using the Insta360 X3, what is right here, and demonstrating the products here at a really wide angle, but instead trying to bring more attention to the product itself, same like Sony ZV-1, I needed the separate camera because having the product showcase function always turned on Sony ZV-1 often gives me a blurred background with a blurred face. I mean, when I don't necessarily want to show the product, but I just talk and make gestures like that, trying to explain the subject, and then camera often just picks up my hand. And of course it's good when I try to put the object in front to show the smallest details, but often it also picks up my fingers and I'm blurred and it doesn't look nice in the video. But then I was looking for the second great camera with autofocus, Sony ZV-1. Just to get another Sony ZV-1 was too expensive. It's like 600 euro at least. Even the second-hand one is still expensive. But the Insta360 Link2 is a great autofocus, tracking, great microphone. I can take it with me on my job, and I can only take it with me, and it will be enough. I'm a seafarer. I will only take this camera, put it on the lid of my laptop, the way it is placed right now, and then in the cabin I will be able to record great videos. All the noises like a hum and vibration noises on the vessel in the cabin will be eliminated because of the excellent noise cancelling feature of the microphone. And then when I need to call my family with a FaceTime, I can just move around my cabin, do my things, and then the camera will follow me. And the picture quality is really great, even at poor lighting conditions. And I can even see some good separation of me from the background, like on this clip, yeah. So overall, I'm really happy and satisfied with the product. So let's watch the clip. If you want to demonstrate something, you can definitely rely on the camera. Does it follow me now? No. Okay. The only important thing to what I understand to know about the autofocus, that it is not as fast as on some kind of Sony mirrorless cameras, and you need to bring the object a little bit to the center of the frame. Like the Sony ZV-1 will pick up a really wide frame of the shot, but Insta360 does a really good job. But you need to bring an object a little bit to the center of the stage. It doesn't. No, it's okay. Now you see it picked up and it works excellent afterwards. Okay. Also let me check some like a Google. Now it's of course really great autofocus, and you don't really have to be so fast. That's not the LiDAR based autofocus, but it is reliable, and you can bring the objects like up to 10 centimeters close. Okay, now I will what I will do now is I will play some office ambience on the speaker. Alright, just a short remark regarding the autofocus. So I was just trying to showcase the autofocus, and that was not, as I mentioned, that is not the best way to do that. So there is a video in this pop-up link, video from the other channel of mine, where I reviewed the flashlight, and there you can see how good the autofocus is on Insta360 Link2, because you will see I will put a link, and if you're interested in flashlights, and by the way, that is the great flashlight with a high CRI, color rendering index, from a good American brand. And there, while demonstrating the flashlight in close-up shots, I indeed used the Sony ZV-1 and Insta360 Link2 exactly for the purpose that I actually bought this camera for. Okay, we go back to the video. Alright, so now you see that I turned on a loud office noise environment, and I mean I really turned on very loud, and you will notice that my own voice in the video was higher, because I was trying to just to speak louder to hear myself and to hear what I was talking. But the noise cancelling function, considering that the speaker was like 2.5 meters away from me, blasting the loud office noise at the maximum volume, wow. Eventually I had to reduce the volume on the speaker just to be able to, let's say, set the realistic noise level in the office, because there is no such noise, there is no such office with such a loud noise like I played via the speaker. So let's just watch. And I will be like this. You want to program it? And as you can see, I placed a speaker over there. I mean, there is no touch noise beneath it. Like I am raising the volume now. Yeah, I think this is decent because when I rose the volume all the way, I could not hear myself. But now you can see a loud noise coming from the speaker, and I'm curious how does the intelligent noise cancelling works. I have never tried and never tested that myself. This is the first test, and this will be the last part. Overall, I have a really positive impression about Insta360 Link2. It works seamlessly, just plug and play via your MacBook or Windows laptop with OBS, Open Broadcast Software, and it even works with the video switcher. In my case, I have an Osee Go Stream Deck video switcher. It connects easily, plug and play. You can record using the microphone on Insta360 Link2 with OBS switcher, and also there is the only thing that connecting to OBS for whatever reason gives a little bit of lag into the video feed, like filming now with connecting to video switcher Osee Go Stream does give a little bit of lag, but connecting to the laptop and recording with the OBS does not give any really disturbing video lag into the final video. So a good lens overall, just summarizing: a good sensor, a good lens, gimbal, which not only meant to follow you, but also can just be adjusted manually with your fingers when the tracking function is turned off, and it will not resist. The motors are not resisting to your fingers trying to adjust the angle, and it can also record an HDR video. Maybe I can show you the HDR. Just stay with me. For that, I need to go to camera settings here, and I need to turn the HDR mode. Where is that? Hold on. Am I still recording? Yes, I'm still recording, and I'm trying to find quickly exposure. Yes, HDR. Okay, I see it has changed in OBS. Also changed. Now I will see what happens. Okay, see, now you can see what is behind my window. Now you can see the tiles on the roof of the neighbor house and some pine trees. Now if you record maybe the outdoors or in front of the window and it's really bright daylight, maybe the HDR function is really good for you. By the way, the office noise environment is still on, and I think so far I have shown you pretty much every feature. And let's go back to the main part of the review, where I install this Insta360 Link2 Web Camera on my like a tripod, like a tree tripod standing on the floor, and I record all the videos and reviews from various angles. So let's go and watch that. Alright, and we are back to my main review. And just summarizing the last part of this review. The noise cancelling function is excellent. It is better than I expected. Even though I was playing really loud office environmental noise, once before I started talking, you could hear that it was some kind of a muffled mess coming from the microphone. But once I started talking, then the microphone recognized my voice, and then all this background muffle settled, and my voice actually was not so much, if ever, distorted, and it did not sound like broken or whatever. So really great, usable function. As I mentioned, the Insta360 Link2 is capable to be connected to the Osee Go Stream Deck video switcher, but also to the iPad Air. At the FaceTime, for example, what I was trying to test myself, and it worked really well in the FaceTime. So I will show you how it works in the FaceTime. I will bring you this view from Insta360. As you can see, it's a FaceTime turned on, and then you can see that the main camera on the FaceTime is a front-facing camera. If I block it, it blocks. Then I will disconnect the HDMI feed. This is the Insta360 Link2. I will connect it to the iPad Air. You can see it recognizes, and then the view switched. So if I block this side, the front-facing camera, you can see that actually on the screen of the iPad, now the camera used is Insta360 Link2, and all the tracking functions, they also work. So if I do like that, hold on. Yes, it started to blink, and now the camera follows me. You can see it moves. It moves down, and then it goes up, left, right, and then tracking is off. Okay, the last part, I will take the camera disconnected from the FaceTime, and what I will do is I will connect the Insta360 Link2 to the video switcher. And in order to do that and show you that, I will actually turn on maybe this camera. Yes. I have to disconnect my Insta360 because Osee Go Stream switcher takes only one USB-C web camera input. Okay, once connected to it will, well, once I connect Insta360 to OBS, it will also start up. I will put it in front of your eyes like that. So it is started, and now this is the view from Insta360 Link2 connected to OBS. There is a little bit of lag. Microphone, however, microphone used now is from Sony ZV-1, but I can also turn the Sony ZV-1 off, and now the microphone is from Insta360 Link2, and there is only a little bit of lag in the video. Otherwise, it works excellent, and also the tracking function works. Like if I were to place the camera here, stationary, alright? Now it will track me. And now tracking speed, last time tracking speed was set to normal on the laptop in the controller software, so the tracking speed is normal. And it tracks me really well. And the zoom function should also work. Okay. It is a little bit tricky, you have to keep your, okay? It zooms in. Okay, you just have to be a little bit patient. So every time you present a gesture to the camera, you need to wait for the camera to blink, and then it will perform the zoom action. It can be a little bit incorrect maybe with the OBS switcher. It is not meant to be used with the OBS switcher, but it still works very much satisfactory. So this is the cable connected to OBS here, and the autofocus function works. Now I will show you. So it is almost as good as on Sony ZV-1. Even if you want to look some small text on the box, you can definitely do that. Look, it's awesome. And then if you want even the smaller stuff to show up, the autofocus picks up great. And if you have a daylight, I think I'm bringing the objects a little bit too close, because now the camera is still a little bit zoomed in. No, it's not tracking me, but overall it also works fine, absolutely fine, with a video switcher like Osee Go Stream Deck. And that is again view from the Sony ZV-1 and view from Insta360 Link. Maybe I need to go away, show the gesture. It's quite difficult condition. You see, I have a completely white wardrobe behind me. And trying to perform a zoom function. I always forget that I need to wait. Nevertheless, the zoom function definitely works smoother with a laptop and with some sort of operational system, whether it's Windows or Mac OS. But overall, I'm very happy with the purchase. I definitely recommend you to try this camera, to consider. It's a versatile, it's a really and truly functional and useful autofocus, a great picture, like this is the picture from Sony ZV-1, and this is the picture from Insta360 Link2. And also the microphone is awesome. Now the microphone is from Insta360 Link2. I will turn it off. And now microphone is from Sony ZV-1. So if you liked the video, definitely smash like, leave some comments, leave your questions in the comments, share this video with someone who might be interested in a really great modern web camera. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next videos. Bye.